Hello everyone, welcome to MedTech World California 2025. Today I have the pleasure to be with Rachna Dayal. She's one of the investors who will be with us tomorrow on our panels. Thank you very much for being with us today.
It's a delight, Shara.
Let's talk about investments and your career. Now you are raising a funding, right?
Yes. Yes, and it's a difficult economic climate to be raising right now. And it's not just difficult for startups, but for funds. But when you look at startups and you look at, especially in medtech, if they are backed by solid science and a very strong team of founders, like most of my startups are, they've been able to raise in this tough economic climate. And obviously, they've gotten checks from me, but also from other investors. And that's really nice to see. Because everybody talks about the funding drying up in the United States for startups. That's absolutely not true. To be very honest, it may be less, it may be more selective, but it is still there.
What are the common mistakes that you see funders have when they try to enter disruptive markets?
Um, you know, One thing that I've seen for founders that come from other areas to US is assuming that the behavior of the investors is going to be same across the regions. But when I look at VCs from Europe or VCs from different parts of even US, people in the Bay Area versus somebody sitting in Iowa or Maryland, we tend to have different ways of investments. The returns we might be looking for might be different. The kind of teams we want, the location, the geography. So I think understanding the mindset of the investors when you go to a new region or a new area is probably the first thing that the founder should try to do. Also assuming that strategics, which is big companies like Medtronic and J&J, behave in the same way as a small VC fund would is also a big mistake. So I think really understanding your investor categories becomes very, very important.
What makes a startup investable? What is something that you definitely consider when evaluating a startup?
Oh my goodness, that's $1 trillion question, to be honest. Many things. The top three that come to my mind is in healthcare, the science has to be solid and it has to be something that is filling an unmet market need in healthcare, either for the patient or for the clinician or for the hospital administrator or payer, right? But because if it's not satisfying the needs of these categories, then it's not needed at the moment. And a lot of founders will create very interesting technologies, but there is no product market fit. And that's very sad sometimes. The second thing, which is very important, and I would say it's probably the most important thing, is who are the founders? Do they have the capacity to endure pain for a long time? Because the startup journey is not easy. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's funding drying up, or there's technology changes that need to be done. Sometimes when you go to FDA, they ask for new things and different data. And you've got to be ready for an ever-changing landscape. So the strength of the team, the individuals, and their resilience is very important. And then, of course, the third thing is, as a VC, we always look at the potential of the return. Is this startup going to get me 10x return in 7 years, or is it just going to be a 2x return? And that influences our decision a lot in investing.
Tomorrow we're gonna hear you on stage. So let's talk about your panel discussion.
So tomorrow's panel is really focused on product market fit, which is a very interesting topic because, in healthcare, same technology can have multiple indications. And I have a very particular point of view in this, especially in this, constrained economy, what startup founders should be thinking about. It really is about entering the market with an indication to show your potential, but trying not to enter with the riskiest value proposition. Because why should an investor or many investors invest in the riskiest option if it's not moving the needle for human health, particularly? So those are some of the things that founders should always keep in mind, in my opinion. But there are many other factors to product market fit.
Thank you very much for being with us today, and I hope you enjoy the opening reception tonight.
I will. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
me. Bye.